Every single death will be counted this season. Why? Because I'm curious, how many deaths are actually in The Walking Dead? Today we're looking at Season 5, aka the best season in the series. So join us as we recap the dead, and before we dive into things, let me know your death prediction down in the comments below. Okay, that's enough from me. Roll the intro. Then it happened. The turntables turned. We see the termites stuck in a train cart.
We were trying to do something good. We were being human beings.
What are we now, Garrett?
A tasty little treat, that's what. Turns out Terminus used to be a sanctuary until some hoodlums showed up and ruined everything. Now, they've become the hoodlums, lining up our crew for a mass slaughter. We catch them slicing and dicing a former tenant, who we'll get to in just a little bit. First up on the chopping block is the one and only, not Slim Shady.
Find a surgeon. Say my name like Heisenberg. Shady never made a rash decision because I'm allergic.
I was wondering where he disappeared to. Thank goodness I didn't accidentally add him to the tour last season. That would have been awkward. And he's dead. I'm no professional, but surely this is a bad way to butcher people. I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but wouldn't slicing the throat just increase the risk of them turning Walker and tainting the meat? Maybe I shouldn't teach a cow how to moo before they kill Glenn. Gareth interrupts, giving Rick a quick Q&A.
Saw you go into the woods with a bag and come out without it. What was in it? I'm curious.
AK-47, 44 Magnum, compound bow, and a machete with a red handle. That's what I'm gonna use to kill you.
Gosh, the tension. Get a room, you two, am I right? Buddy goes to swing at Glenn, again, except this time it's an explosion interrupting. At this point, they're just blue balls in us. Before we find out what that was, we need to add the 3 little piggies to the toll. And unfortunately, there's plenty more death to come. Carol and Tyrese are still on the tracks too.
Terminus.
Shut up, you're dead. Just like this Walker. Carol spots some happy campers waddling over, but they get sidetracked by the Terminus gunfire. Lucky for them, Walkers always pick noise over food. Makes you wonder how humans lost this war. They stumble on a termite who's working distraction duty, chatting on the radio about bleeding the cattle, if you catch my drift. Interrogating Chewie, Carol finds out all their friends are held hostage. So off she goes, covered in guts and glory, having skinned a Walker and leaving Tyrese all alone with the Chewster.
You're a good guy. Why you're gonna die today?
You think you're gonna kill me?
Why haven't you killed me? How does having me alive help you?
What in the monkey tits is this guy chewing on? I swear I'm going to reach through the screen and rip it out if he keeps going. Secondly, he makes a good point. Why is he still breathing and chewing? I get Tyrese is a gentle giant, for the most part. But Carol, you really should have just put him down there and then. She scoops at the compound and spots 4 corpses. Then he hears someone screaming, bumping the toll up to 16. Why is she screaming? Because the herd is nearby. Carol lights a firework, drawing the dead right into Terminus. Oh, I hate you so fucking much. Alright, let's count these flying basts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, 14, 15. Why am I actually counting these? I could have just picked a random number. 16, 17, 20. Done. Let's get these flyers added to the tool. The ground spaghettos rise and head in, grabbing themselves a tasty little treat. Carol joins the march, strolling past 2 walkers catching bullets, and a lady getting munched. Then she jumps right into the fun, delivering headshots to the termites. The butchers are bickering about protocol when Batty drops a surprisingly valid point.
Hey, look at me. What?
Couldn't agree more. Rick stabs his way out when the corpse on the table is revealed to be their very own Bullet Brain. The boys walk into a cooler, and I don't typically count meat as death, but if there's a torso staring back at me, it makes the list.
We run, we can get by them. We gotta let those people out. That's still who we are.
And off they go, slicing through the 4 dead and busting the trapped hostages free.
We're the same! We're them! Back off! We're the same!
Rick 2.0 gets eaten. R.I.P. RJ. Wish you were the real one. Glenn bats the muncher, but I'll be careful. What goes around comes around. Then the gang watch whilst the 9 incoming walkers get gunned down by the few remaining termites. One walker lumbers over, curious about what Rick's staring at, when Daryl rudely cuts in. They wait for the cannonballs to pass, then strike, grabbing the AK and mowing down the rest. What's strange about this, there's a dude who looks like he slipped on a banana, and this other guy didn't move at all, even though both got obliterated by a machine gun. Nevertheless, they're dead. Carol searches for the group when she gets held at gunpoint. That lasts a long time. Like, about 5 seconds long. That's a long time, right?
Signs, they were real. It was a sanctuary.
Don't care.
Tyrese is staring at Carol's chaos when Chewie grabs Judith. I don't have an intro yet for this segment, so look at this white guy. Transition. Welcome to Brainless Bites, the segment where I drop one fact about the film you probably didn't know. The dude gripping Judith is not Chewie, it's Judith's dad. No, not the doodah. Her real father. Not Shane either, like the real life dad. He orders Ty to pretty much die, telling him to step outside unarmed with a few walkers. He obeys, not wanting to see Judith turn into a pretzel, making Tyrese pretty much a goner. No way he makes it out alive. Well, I'll be a slithering snake. My guy is just different gravy. Whilst he's beating the feces out of the Chewster, the camera floats up, adding 2 walkers to the toll. Team A gets rescued by Rick and the gang, and holy Scrooge nuts, this looks like hell to tally. Fuck it, I'ma just let the scene play out. Enjoy. The biggest takeaway from this is Eugene even runs awkwardly. Rick takes some last pot shots at Gareth before hopping the fence. He grabs the weapons they stashed back in season 4 and meet up with Carol. They decide to let Terminus burn and go with Carol to meet up with Tyrese. Where did that walker go? Oh, there it is. Everyone enjoys the family reunion. Tyrese tells Carol he killed Chewie, so I guess I better add him to the toll, since he is definitely dead. Splat. And the episode ends. Or does it? This is actually the first episode in the show to feature a post-credit scene. Bet you didn't know that. It's a man who's not just a man. He's a Morgan. The opening is incredible. We catch our group walk, but in slow motion? There are some good scenes, like Tyrese telling Carol they're cool, and Michonne for getting she's swordless now. No more decapitations for you.
Right there is why we're waiting for our moment.
Yeah, fair enough.
Is that jealousy I see? I wouldn't worry. The chances of Abraham leaving you for a black woman with anger issues is low, but never zero. Rick gets added to Tara's fisting list. He then apologizes to Carol for sending her into the wild. Yeah, I guess looking back on it, being 2 of their own isn't that bad. Daryl's been hunting and caught 6 tree rats, surpassing the 100 death mark. And we're only on episode 2. What I will say, this one and only time, Sasha is a decent character in the moment. She's playing a game with Bob where she tries to crush his spirit, and in return, he raises hers, which just works for me.
The hot sun beating down on you. Come on, a glorious tan.
Wait, is Bob white? The gang hears some screaming in the distance and carry on walking. It's not their problem. Just kidding. Of course they help. The screaming man is trapped on a mountain, surrounded by the dead. Carl wastes a bullet instead of, you know, waiting for an adult to take care of it. And the rest die of natural causes.
You okay?
I'll take that as a yes. This is Gabriel, a priest who is a total wet wipe. He's never killed anything and doesn't even carry a weapon, which honestly might just make him my new favorite character. They go to his church where he's been living since the start of the outbreak, but now out of food. So the group split up, half going with Big Gabe and the other half staying back to fix up a bus and look after Judith. They roll up to a food bank submerged in water with soggy walkers swimming around. The gang collectively take out 5. including one that was secretly a Smith, judging by the blood. Gabriel then freaks out because he knew one of the biscuits. Okay, that was vile from me. I apologize for that one. The plan is to push down the shelf on top of the walkers so Rick can rescue him, which might just be the dumbest plan ever. Why not just stab the walkers here and go after him? I don't get it. They stab 5 more, one of which is hidden behind this butte. And then Rick bashes poor Mary's face in. Now that's all sorted, they can grab some supplies. Oh, Bob just got deaded. Or did he? He rises from the water and sticks it to the biter, and Sasha comes in with a final blow that kills Steele Bish. But everything's fine, so nothing to worry about. We head back to find Carl's put on his detective hat, spot knife marks carved into the wall. At night, everyone celebrates the fact that soon they'll be in Washington and Eugene will be curing this fang. Everyone besides 3 people. 2 of them, Beth and Daryl. Beth and Daryl? I meant Carol and Daryl. Sorry. I just miss her so much. Carol's taking out a walker when Daryl shows up. He tries to get her to come back when the car that took Beth drives by, so they follow. The other guy missing? Bob. Snatched by the leftover termites and turned into a grilled kebab. You see, this is a lot more of an effective way to eat a human. Bob's got the giggles. Nice to see, even when made into a Bob's Burger, he's still a happy chappy.
I've been bitten, you stupid pricks. I'm tainted meat.
You just got stookied. Sasha's out looking for a plate, but instead finds 2 walkers with no Bob in sight. They go back to blame Gabriel, so he opens up about how when the outbreak hit, he locked people out and left them as walker bait.
Begging me for mercy, begging me for mercy.
Yeah. Will Rick believe him? Yeah. What? One sing-along later and their takeout arrives. When dealing with the surrounding walkers, a bullet comes from the trees, freaking everyone out. Rob reveals he was bit at the food bank, raising the drama levels. Then the mob storms out, ready to hunt down the termites and get revenge. Yep, you heard that right, my friend. They head outside, right where the shots came from moments ago. Lucky for them, no shots come flying. Unlucky for them, now that they're gone, the termites roll in. They have the door surrounded with nowhere to go, and when things are looking gloomy, Rick fires his boomy. Hey, isn't that the guy Tyrese said he killed? Looks pretty good for a dead man. Gareth pleads for his life, saying, "We're good people. We used to save lives. Sure, we eat kids, but who doesn't have their flaws?" Rick's not having it. Plus, he's already made him a promise.
I already made you a promise. A machete with a red handle. That's what I'm gonna use to kill you.
We never get a clean look at the last termites, but from this shot outside, we can count 6. And now there's 0. Oh no. Michonne gets her bloody decapitator back. The group say their goodbyes to Bob, and then we add him to the toll. Abraham leaves with Glenn and Maggie for Washington, whilst the others stay back to wait for Daryl and Carol to return. Speaking of, the episode ends with Daryl coming out the bushes, but without Carol. We're back in Atlanta City where the grass is dead and the girls are also dead. So yeah. 2 people enter the room, a Dr. Edwards and an Officer Dawn. They tell Beth she owes them. After all, they saved her life when she got hit by a car. Conveniently skipping the part it was their car. Beth's absolutely flabbergasted by that, which makes her game crash or something. Girl stuck in the T-pose animation. Doc brings her to a patient who's currently on life support, using this machine to keep him alive. Did that motherfucker? He did? Well, at least they gave him a dignifying death, or maybe not. Later, they're chilling in Doc's office when they get all deep. Pause. Not that kind of deep, you twisted swine. And declare Art is dead.
I sing.
Oh, please don't. I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but Beth occasionally bursts into song like this is a shitty High School Musical. And you know what? I don't want to hear it. Officer Don saves the day by interrupting, telling Doc that a new patient came in. He tells her he can't save her due to internal bleeding, which makes no sense, because where else is blood meant to be? Whoa, that wasn't called for. She was just standing here then. Whack! I thought Dawn was meant to be about family. I'm so fucking stupid. One more patient gets rolled in. Jesus, how many people do they hit with a car? This time the girl's bit, so they yank her arm off. The reason she isn't put to sleep for this is she's scared that Officer Douche will make her yank something else off. Dawn comes to Beth with a peace offering for giving her the Will Smith treatment. Beth turns it down, not wanting to owe the hospital anything. Just work off the bill and leave. Dawn's like, yeah, that's fine. This place isn't a prison. You can leave whenever you want. But if you do, we'll run you over and drag you back. Okay, bye. When morning rolls around, Officer Douche strolls into Beth's room and creepily asks her to suck his lollipop. And I'm pretty sure he's not on about the candy. Dr. Doc takes Beth up to the roof and tells her to jump. No, not really. But imagine, he says he's here because there's nowhere else to go. Then tells her to look into a patient and deliver a shot of clozapine. Deliver a shot of clozapine. Deliver a shot of clozapine. He tells her to drug someone. So she does. And then the guy seizes and dies. Don wants to know what happened, and this guy, Noah, takes the fall for Beth, saying he accidentally unplugged the breathing machine.
That's not what happened. He just started seizing.
Well, you gave him clonazepam, right?
You said clozapine.
No, I didn't.
He's stable, due for another 75 milligrams of clozapine.
You lying son of a biscuit eater. I thought you were one of the good ones. Turns out, you're just like the rest. Don approaches Beth and then just belittles her.
You're not strong enough.
I am strong.
How many people had to risk their lives to save you?
0. Not a single person has actually risked their life just to save Beth. Closest I can think of was her mother, and even then, she didn't risk it. Walker's just grabbed her while she was running away. Don is a strange character. Wants to save everyone's life and play the big hero, only to treat them like dirt, hand them over as playthings for the other officers, and make them wish they were dead anyway. Where are we? Summer camp, haha! Counselor Uncle Stephen was a bad man. Beth and a bruised Noah have had enough and plan to escape down the elevator shaft. All they need is a key. Beth goes looking and finds it, as well as Yankee dead on the floor, choosing death over captivity. Probably hoping to resurrect and take out Officer Douche. Speaking of, he strolls into his office and finds Beth, and gets all up in her business. Then tries to cop a feel.
Too soon?
No, it's topical.
Beth chooses to smash instead. Smash a vase over his head. Then Yankee yanks his jugular out. A sweet slice of revenge. Beth, this sneaky devil, tells Don to head to Douche's office as he's wanting her for something. Noah and Beth reach the elevator and get ready to climb down, which is odd. I thought Beth was trying to avoid the shaft. That's not funny. She was nearly climbing down the shaft when Noah slips and falls. This is the second time today Noah's taken the fall.
It's not ha-ha funny.
Luckily, he lands on some corpses, 20 to be exact, 2 of which have already been counted. Noah gets grabbed by a walker, so Beth opens her weapon wheel and blasts her way out, taking out 7 using quickfire mode. She stomps a walker and then Noah says peace, leaving her for dead. Now I know why everyone hates Chris. For some reason, the second they get outside, there's this bizarre mix of sound design and color grading. It feels like a cheap show that was made in 2010. Oh wait. Just as Beth's about to become dinner, the walkers around her get popped by the pursuing officers. She almost gets away scot-free and gets tackled to the ground, staring at Noah as he escapes. Don's giving Beth the biggin, which I wasn't going to mention because it's just her usual spitting of shite. But there is a dead officer and a dead walker in the scene, so I kinda had to. The episode ends with Beth holding some skizzers, ready to go Freddy Krueger on their bitch asses, when Carol gets rolled in. Are you ready to find out what happened to Carol? Well, tough titty milk, you're gonna have to wait, but not for the action. We get tossed into a flashback of Abraham beating someone senseless with a can of beans. When he's done, there are 4 bean lovers laid out on the floor. He heads to his family, only to find they're terrified of him, since he's covered in all that bean juice. In the middle of the night, they skedaddle, leaving a note saying, "Subscribe to Brainless Benji." Wow, what a brilliant idea. Abraham finds them dead in a hole. I didn't know how to transition from self-fisting to a dead family. That's not in the writer's handbook. He's about to add himself to the toll when Eugene starts screaming for help. Abraham, filled with anger, takes out 3 chompers. And just like that, he's got a new life purpose. Protect the scientist. Back in the present day, they're cruising along, having some laughs when the bus flips over, killing absolutely no one. Walkers wander over to check out the racket, and the group plow through all 16 of them. And again with the sound design. such an odd choice. Wait, before we move on, I nearly forgot about the one in the truck. They're discussing the next steps and decide to walk to Washington.
Maybe we can find some bikes. Bikes don't burn.
Don't be stupid. That's way too smart. They find a bookhouse to spend the night in, and something strange happens. A walker looks at Abraham, realizes it can't break through the invisible force field, known as glass, and walks away. I thought these walkers were supposed to be dumb. Hell, the joggers back in season 1 were clawing at the ladders trying to get them.
You better turn in.
I really need some ass first.
Hey, yo, Glenn's a taken man. After realizing that, Abraham bites the bullet and does it with Rosita. The horrors, am I right? Eugene gets caught watching.
He's watching again. We're there in the self-help section.
He said it! He said it!
Self-help.
He explains to Tara he's just on standby for when Rosita gets tired.
What?
He then changes the subject and explains he used his mind powers to crash the bus, because he's scared the group won't protect him if he fails to cure the virus. Bearing in mind, this is the same group that saved a preacher, so for a smart guy, he's pretty dumb. But Tara doesn't care, she's chill like that.
Welcome to the human race, asshole.
Morning comes and so does Abraham. They head to a water truck that's got a number of bodies around it. What that number is, I'll let you decide. I made a post and got all kind of answers that ranged from 3 to 11 to someone brainless. I tried checking from different angles, but the bodies despawned after this scene, and me being terrible at making decisions, I decided to throw all the answers on a wheel and let fate decide. 4! Good. If it landed on 63.5, I would have ended the video.
Call me a killjoy.
I guess I'll add these 3 and this dude since I can see them. When trying to fix the
Radiator hose.
some walkers pour out the building and the group struggle to fend them off, eventually becoming surrounded. Well, everyone except Abraham. For some reason, walkers seem to ignore him. Could it be these walkers are gingerist? When all seems lost, Eugene finally releases all that energy from watching Abraham and Rosita fuck, taking out 13 walkers with his load and saving the day. Not all 13 are deaded though. When Abraham climbs up top, we can see 5 still moving. So if the 8 Eugene sprayed and the 8 meleeed, that brings the total to... Up the way comes another problem. A giant horde blocking every direction. Abraham wants to drive straight through them, and honestly, I've heard better ideas from a mango. The others choose life. He drags Eugene to the truck while the rest attempt to stop him.
I'm not a scientist! I'm not a scientist! I lied. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how to stop it.
Mind blown. And phew, when I first watched this, I was thanking the Lord. I thought a scientist with a cure was so lame.
You are a scientist. I've seen the things that you can do.
I just know things.
People died trying to get you here.
I'm aware of that. Again, I am smarter than you.
Might not be the best thing to say right now. You've been lying to these people for months, and now you're bragging about being smarter than them. Imagine someone comes up to you, claims they have a cure, and then you watch all your friends die trying to protect this person, only to find out he's full of shit. Then he looks you dead in the eyes and says,
I'm smart, you're dumb.
I'm surprised Abraham hasn't punched. Oh, never mind. Honestly, I'm shocked at how many people are still trying to protect Eugene, even after everything. Abraham sits down, contemplates the betrayal, and realizes his entire life purpose was a lie. Hit after hit after hit, this season does not miss. And whoever decided to scrap the B storylines deserves a raise and a very promiscuous reward. Like, I would suck his or her dick. We're back on the Carol and Daryl storyline, chasing after the car that took Beth and crushing a poor lady's skull along the way. They roll into Atlanta and they're pitch black, so I'll breeze through this until morning. The car breaks down, they kill 5 walkers off screen, a bunch more wander onto the street. Strange to say walkers get more active at night, especially since we learned that back in season 1 and haven't seen it until now.
They get more active after dark sometimes. Maybe it's the cool air.
Inside an apartment block, we find a dead walker, and upstairs, a walker-fied mother and son. Carol moves to kill them, but Daryl stops her. He's got a better idea. A walker barbecue? The smoke rises, probably drawing a lot of attention. Then we cut to Carol and Tyrese burying Micah and Nutty. I know I said I liked this episode, but we've moved on. And then we jump back to the present. What was the point in that? They move to another building for a better view. coming across some happy campers. Except this time, they kill 4 of them. I guess leaving 1 alive to tell the story. They go through a chain door, and on the other side, they meet Noah. But he ain't handing out candy no more. He grabs their stuff and unleashes 2 trapped walkers. Daryl takes out the first, then Carol pops the second. She goes to shoot the thief, when Daryl says, Noah, don't do that.
Do you get the joke?
They head to a van dangling over the edge of a cliff to look for clues. While looting, walkers spawn in. They kill 3 of them on screen and stab some others off, but didn't see it, didn't happen. There aren't even bodies on the floor. They get trapped in the van and... cool scene. Now let's break it down. The van is parked up on the side. It falls facing down. We see the ground, but when it hits it, its wheels down. How? It starts raining walkers. Hallelujah. How many? I counted 6. 1 by the fence, a leg, 2 hands on the roof, a window licker, and finally, grass toucher. After the fall, they head to a vantage point to scope out the hospital, spotting 5 bodies. Make that 6, no 7. And Noah's trail. He's wrestling a zombie and tags Carol in. She tags Daryl, and Daryl knocks a bookcase down on him. That's what he gets for being so shellfish. Still, they're not about to leave him as walker bait. They bond over Noah and Beth, and when they head back for the others... what is their obsession with running people over? Daryl lets them take Carol, figuring she'll probably get better medical care with them. Which brings me to today's sponsor, running people over. With running people over, you're not just giving someone free healthcare, you're giving them a future. With 1 quick hit of a car, you provide food, water, and protection to those in need. As long as they don't mind the occasional wreck. Just listen to our satisfied customers.
It's not as bad as it looks.
Wow, they couldn't be happier. Check out Running People Over at www.runningpeopleover.com for your chance to win a free concussion. This episode is short and sweet. We started with Greatum. Who's Greatum?
What's Greatum?
Us. Group name. Solidarity. Band of Brothers. Greatum.
That name is not that great. You could have had Margaret, Megart, Jimat. My point is, Greatum is a bad choice. Rosita is one of some intention, but Abraham's not in a loving mood.
Look at me!
Sit down or I'll put you down.
How is Abraham the bad guy in this situation? Tell me. The group go off to save Carol and Beth, leaving only Carl, Michonne, and Big Gabe behind. Rick and the gang. Whenever I say Rick and the gang, I always think about that clay animation by Robot Chicken.
Baby ding-dongs! We need a name that tells people we mean business. Negan's got the Saviors, and that just sounds cool. Then there's the Wolves, also awesome. The Terminus Cannibals, the Kingdom Comers, the Baseball Furies. So I've been kicking around some ideas, and I think I've got it. Rick and the gang. Maybe we throw out some other ideas. The Wham Bam Clan! The Stabby Crew! No! We're Rick and the gang! I already made t-shirts. Oh,
Anyway, where were we? Right. They make a plan to capture 2 of the officers to make a trade. When executing the plan, a third pulls up to rescue them. The group go looking, coming across this mess. I'm only counting the skeletons that are moving, which gives us a total of 26. Daryl hangs back alone to investigate the area alone and gets tackled to the ground. And if we watch this fall in 0.25 times speed, we spot 2 more skeletons. There's a reason they call me the Canadian Benji. While he's getting choked out, he eye pockets a walker and swings it like a dude who has his fingers in a skull. I don't know where I was going with that one. Probably ending the chomper in the process. Rick shows up, shoots a random walker for no reason, then takes the prisoners upstairs, where we meet an Officer Bob, which must suck for Sasha. She lets her guard down, so Bob... and then he rushes off. The episode ends with GRT stabbing 3 walkers, and then go fishing, making this May looking at the 300th death of the season. Yeah, how do you like it? Officer Bob is now crippled, unable to move.
Can't go back, Bob.
Officer Bob is now dead, unable to move. Gabriel's out for a stroll when a walker herd spots him. He runs back to the church only to get cut off. How did the walkers get in front of him? Good question. Michonne and Carl rush to save him, as apparently this season's just non-stop rescues. Michonne slices a skull in half and decapitates another, then drops 2 more before retreating to the back room. They slip for a secret passage, and when the walkers break in, one face plants into a blade. Back at the front, they clear out 2 stuck walkers, then find 3 extra bodies magically spawned in. They lock up the church doors. Now that it's secure, well, that was unnecessary. No way you knew there were walkers inside from your angle. Right before Abraham crushed it, we spot one encountered corpse. Here comes the reunion. Michonne tells Maggie that Beth's alive, and Maggie's like, who's that? Then mentions Eugene's a fraud. After, they head off to meet the rest of the gang. Beth's cleaning Don's office when she mentions killing the last guy in charge. I wasn't going to add him to the toll, but now we've got a name and a face. It's only fair. Later, she chats with Beth, saying she cleaned up the crime scene after taking out Officer Douche. Officer Random Man Piercing Guy happens to overhear and tells Don he's gonna spill the truth. They fight it out, which ends with Beth shoving him down the shaft.
You're a cop killer.
I would never kill somebody.
Rick meets up with a few officers to negotiate a trade, with his guardian angel watching close in case things go south.
Where are your people?
They're close.
In the hospital, they make the exchange, when Don gets a bit too greedy and asks for Noah. Rick's like, you have no idea who you're messing with. And Beth's like, who the fuck watches me, bro? Beth's like, Noah, please don't go. Then gives Don a piece of her mind. Mind blown. Literally. Dawn did what every cop tried to do. Blow Beth's brains out. You can see the regret and shock in her eyes. Clearly not meaning to do it.
Don't care.
Team Red rolls up and spots 11 corpses. Strange considering we only counted 6 back in episode 4. They add 2 more to the graveyard tool. Then Maggie sees her sister's lifeless body. Interestingly, this is the most care we've seen her show her sister since season 2. Then the episode ends. I thought this was a weak mid-season finale, especially after the strong episode leading up to it. Luckily, the rest of the season bounces back, starting with this episode's post-credit scene. Morgan finds a church, more importantly, the map Abraham left for Rick, pointing him towards DC. That's a really long title. Rick gives a speech about getting Noah back home. On the way, they pass a skeleton and 3 unidentifiable animals.
Unidentifiable.
Animals. I have no clue what they were, but they're definitely dead. Tyrese notices a clock, and if you've watched Stranger Things, you know this man is cooked. When they finally reach Noah's home, they find it sealed shut. Climbing over the wall, they discover the entire place has been overrun by the dead, with 9 bodies visible from the road.
Carol, copy.
We're here.
Noah runs home and finds his mother looking hella cute, so he finds a sheet so he can beat his meat. Tyrese finds Noah's younger twin brother, then gets snuck up on.
I wanted to die for what I lost.
Well, now you can. Introducing The Bite. With The Bite, all your troubles disappear. That's right, with just one small nibble, you can die. All for the low, low price of your life. Check out The Bite today at www.runningpeopleover.com. Okay, I'm done with this joke. Tyrese gets bit, so Noah grabs the toy plane and aims it at the twin brother. He then rushes off for help, leaving Tyrese to bleed out alone. That's when he starts hallucinating at British Rick Grimes.
At least 68 citizens of the Republic have been killed in 4 deadly attacks along the main coastal district.
And a parade of random people he met along the way, which honestly, I couldn't care less about. The most exciting part is when the governor turns into a walker. And even this was lackluster. Noah's screaming for help, not for Tyrese. Somehow, he's trapped himself. Glenn stabs 2 of the attackers and Rick takes out the last one. Then they rush to Tyrese, who is tripping balls. They chop his arm off because they want to make his last moments as painful as possible. Then they carry him towards the gate, where 15 walkers try to break in. The killing scene is extremely cut, no pun intended, so I won't bore you with that. All you need to know is 15 die. At the car, they hit a truck that spawns 15 more walkers, all without arms or legs. Let's bring some joy back to the video. Tyrese dead. Well, that's a nice start of the episode. Daryl's digging in the dirt and catches a worm. Attention, attention. This is the first ever worm added to the death toll. Attention, attention. These are the first ever frogs added to the death toll, bringing the total to 387. We're breaking all the records today. The group is being followed by walkers, so with the little energy they have, they prepare to throw them off a bridge, trapping them at the bottom. The plan works perfectly until Sasha breaks formation to kill a walker. Then everything goes tits up, or as Abraham says,
Plan just got dicked.
they slash and bash the remaining 10 walkers, not including the 2 decapitations. Sasha cuts Abraham with an infected weapon. Thankfully, nothing happens, since that's not how the virus works. Let's hope this doesn't cause some convoluted plot twist 3 seasons and 3 episodes down the line, because that would be really dumb. Down the road, Maggie opens a truck and finds a woman who's been tied and left to starve. Or as I interpreted it, it was someone's wife who walkified and then the husband wasn't ready to let go. Either way, Daryl heads out hunting and finds Bambi and the hunter. The group are taking 5 when some doggies come along. No! Take the children before the dogs. Well, I guess they have dinner. On their walk to find somewhere to call home, they pass a corpse and further along, a cluster of suspicious water bottles with a note that reads, "Like the video if you haven't already." Yes, I'm repeating this little gag as we made it quite far into the video, so you must be enjoying it, end quote. They avoid taking the water as it could be poisoned, and then the rain comes. And when it rains, it pours. They find a barn to shelter in during the storm. Inside, there's only one walker, which Maggie quickly takes care of.
But no matter what we find in DC, I know we'll be okay. Because this is how we survive. We tell ourselves that we are the walking dead.
This is the ultimate
He said it! He said it!
Way down.
way to ruin the vibe, asshole. In the morning, they head outside and add only 7 walkers to the toll. The rest are still wiggling. While enjoying the sunrise, a man walks over and introduces himself as... Meet Aaron, who's looking quite nervous. Got a bit of a red face going on.
Something you need.
He has a camp. He wants us to audition for membership.
Wish there was another word. Audition makes it sound like we're some kind of a dance troupe. That's only on Friday nights.
Oof, tough crowd. He tries to bring the Wambam clan into his community and gets thanked with a wallop. He insists he's a friend, even admitting to leaving water on the road for them, which might not be the best sales pitch. Hey, I've been stalking you for days, now come and join my dance group. Rick's still hesitant to follow, while everyone else is eager to get off the streets. So Aaron makes one last pitch.
Like I said, and I hope you won't punch me for saying it again, we're some kind of a dance troupe.
Rick ain't joining no dance troupe. He's still got PTSD from last time.
Terminus. Sanctuary for all? Community for all? Those who arrive survive?
Welcome to Terminus. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Terminus, where you'll be safe and sound. Cause we would never eat you, so please don't turn around. And it's a pleasure to meet you, and we're definitely 100% not going to eat you.
Aaron explains he and a friend are parked a few miles away, so Abraham, Rosita, Glenn and Michonne head to investigate. On the way, they start chatting.
He said he was watching us, right? Means he saw us yesterday. And after everything we've done, why would he want us to join his group?
Wait, did I miss an episode? What exactly did you guys do wrong? In the last few days, you rescued a kid, saved a priest, and killed walkers? That's it?
People like us saved a girl who rolled up to the prison with the governor, saved a crazy lady with the sword. He saw that.
Okay, now you're just tickling my balls. Pretty sure Aaron didn't see any of that. Arriving at the RV, confirming Aaron's story, they head back to have a mass debate. Join this unknown community, or stay on the road. Rick wants to decline the offer since he's satisfied with the food, but Michonne tells him to shut his flipper flapper, home napper, weed whacker, dead smacker, trunk slapper, bridge clapper, no dapper, road tappering ass up. They need somewhere safe, a place to call home. So off they go, right into a horde, and Glenn does not slow down. At the speed he's going, I'm gonna have to count every collision as a death. Times like this is when I realize I could just make up any number. Say 18. People will believe me. But no, I want to do it legitimately. Ugh.
6.5 hours later.
57 deaths are going on the toll. I am going to bed. I have work at 8.
Tomorrow.
During my night terrors, I realized Abraham's plan would have worked. Sorry for doubting you, Red. Rick and the gang see a flare go off in the distance and rush towards it, hoping the Wham Bams do the same. They take out a few more along the way, but it's night and hard to see. Rick blows 2, Michonne slices 2 in the background, and Glenn shoots 1 before getting sent the wrong way, where he blasts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then takes it from behind. And when it's on top, Glenn thinks about his drive, his power, how it's hungry and trying to devour. So he puts in the work, puts in the hours, and takes what's ours. When taking a stroll, he sees his boy Aaron getting mugged. Meanwhile, Rick and Michonne are still in the mess.
Remember, switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading.
They decide to take on the Horde instead of running. I get Michonne being brave. This is basically a walk in the park for her. Rick, on the other hand, well, let's just say we're lucky Glenn showed up when he did, mowing down 8 so they can escape. Meeting up with the rest of the crew, who's been busy pushing the toll past the 500th death. Aaron runs to see his partner.
Eric! I'm okay. Hi, I'm Eric.
Rick. You're sleeping over there.
God, Rick, it's not a phase. He likes boys. Get over it. In the morning, they head off to this community known as Alexandria.
Pretty had to be Asian driving like that. Good one.
I'm of the opinion this is where the series should have ended. It's a happy conclusion, the kind most people like. Everyone's safe, you could toss a flash forward in of them living peacefully, having families, and enjoying life. But as we all know it, that's not what happened. So, back to it. At the gates of Alexandria, Carl spots someone spying on them, but instead of saying anything, he strolls on. Zero survival instincts. He doesn't know this girl. She could be anyone. Daryl snags a possum for dinner, and Sasha wastes a bullet. Man, I miss the days of unlimited ammo. Rick sits down with the leader, Deanna, for a little interview.
You've been behind these walls this entire time.
Your group is the first we've even considered taking in for a long time.
Wait a second. Aaron said,
every time I've done this, I've been behind the wheel. Driving recruits back. Driving recruits back. Recruits back.
So which one of you is lying?
Aaron says I can trust you.
Aaron doesn't know me. I've killed people. I don't even know how many by now.
Unfortunately, I know the exact number. Your human death toll is currently sitting at 22. Let's keep it that low. Rick gets his mop chopped by this girl named Jessie. Did you know? Carl was supposed to get his hair cut too, but the writers bailed on the idea. Reason 1, his last haircut was from Lori.
Where do you start shaving? That stinks. Day comes, you'll be wishing for one of your mama's haircuts.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Reason 2, his hair helps cover up. Actually, I'll show you that one next season. After Daryl sees Rick's moved out, he shoots his shot.
Lori and me, we used to drive through neighborhoods like this, thinking one day, here we are.
Daryl, buddy, you ain't his wife. Unless Carl goes to hang out with some kids his own age. Ron, Enid, aka Stranger, and this guy. After the fun's over, Carl and Rick spend some happy father-son time together. Then we meet the runners. Gosh, there's a bunch of new faces. Faces? Faces. This is Aiden and Nicholas, who are assigned to teach our crew how to do supply runs. Kinda insane given the circumstances, but we hear these fellas out. They drag everyone off camp to show off a walker they strung up for practice. Even more insane, but still listening. When they get to their dummy, it's gone. So what do? Start whistling for it. Yep. Morons. The walker waddles back over, and instead of just putting it down, they try to chain it back up. And I thought Maggie had a kink. The walker nearly takes a chunk out of Aiden, so he shoves it towards Tara, where Glenn ends it before she gets chomped. Then Aiden throws a tantrum. He says the crew ain't cut out for outdoors, which, come on, I don't know what's worse. Dippy and Doppy running supply runs, or Deanna assigning Noah for them, because, let's be real, poor chap's been limping for 100 miles. Let him sit. Aiden gets in Glenn's face, but have no fear. Eugene is here.
Why'd you let these people in? Because we actually know what we're doing out there.
Now, imagine how bad that would have been without Eugene. Jokes aside, the difference between Glenn in season 1 and Glenn now is crazy. He ain't delivering pizzas anymore, only arse whoopings. Unlike Daryl, who's still sad Rick turned him down, so runs to Nick for a cuddle.
I want everyone to hear me, okay? Rick and his people are part of this community now, as equals.
Thank God you said that. And I ain't saying something is when it isn't, but I was noticing a bit of diversity crisis in Alexandria before the Wham Bam clan came. Deanna appoints Rick and Michonne as police officers. Hopefully, they do better than the last cops we saw. Can't imagine being worse.
You don't like me, do you?
Damn, Carl, you smooth the ladies. The episode wraps with Rick telling Carol and Daryl if things don't work out, they'll take the place over. Can't wait to see how that plays out. Rick and Daryl take Carol out shooting, but that's just a front. Carol's playing the part of the sweet, innocent housewife.
Always had dinner on the table for Ed when he came home. I miss that stupid, wonderful man every day. I really didn't have much to offer this group, so I think they've been nice enough to protect me.
Previously on The Walking Dead.
Just sort of became their den mother.
But we know her as the badass, no shit, taking Carol into her last name. The real reason they're out here? To figure out how to snag some weapons from the armory. Daryl hits out with Aaron and gets swarmed by walkers. Aaron headshots 2 and slices another, then Daryl does the same. They're chasing after a horse which trampled a sheep. How do I know it's a sheep? Well, after Daryl bolts, Aaron trips over it and a walker. Daryl stomps it before it snags a bite. He then makes a walker horn, ending the whole shabadeal with a quick scope. Catching up to the horse, we see it get torn apart. The walkers are killed off screen. The camera floats away, adding 1 horse, 3 sheep, and 11 walkers to the toll. Back home, Daryl heads to Aaron's for dinner, where they fed him spaghetti, and then make him an official recruiter for the town. While they're talking shop, everyone else is at a party celebrating their new arrivals.
Thank you for coming.
It's a party for them.
You know, I didn't get a chance to interview this one.
She's a fucking baby. What kind of interview is that? How was it out there? Goo-goo-nga-nga, you moronic twit. Sorry, had to get that off my chest. Carol goes to steal some guns while everyone's distracted, but gets caught by Sam, Jesse's son. She threatens him, saying if he tells anyone, she'll take him out into the wild and feed him to the monsters. Noah meets up with Reggie, Deanna's husband, to discuss taking over as architect, making sure the walls keep walling. Seems like Noah's in it for the long haul. Cough. A group heads out on a supply run so Eugene can fix the solar panels. And I have to comment again, what is this squad? Mainly Noah. The poor guy's still limping. And now you expect him to do a supply run. Why not replace him with Rosita, or Abraham, or Maggie, or Sasha? I can go on. No? They want Limpy? Cool. Okay, he can shoot, but a flight of stairs and it's game over. He's lucky they're not about to kill off anyone important, especially after offing Beth and Tyrese just episodes ago. Cough, cough. They do a perimeter check, and Tara and Eugene start chatting.
You really that much of a coward?
Yes, I am. I told you I was.
Fair enough. Inside, they find the ting, the machine, solar thing, and a walker with some heavy explosions. Glenn wakes up to find Tara unconscious and Aiden pinned against a wall, proving that even in death, he's a prick. Eugene moves to take out a walker, only to get jumped from behind. Luckily, Noah saves him, proving me wrong while bringing him along. Then Glenn pops the other. Eugene carries Tara out, since she's too lazy to do so herself. And he actually takes out 2 walkers. If he keeps this up, my useless jokes won't be funny anymore. The others go back for Aiden, but he's truly screwed. When trying to pull him out, Noah drops 5 walkers, 3 of those were off screen. Then Nicholas bails, not wanting to become dinner. Honestly, the first smart thing he's done. Glenn and Noah stay back to waste a few bullets, then also leave Aiden behind.
It's all over but the ride, and nobody's crying but me.
They try to escape at the front, adding 3 more to the toll, only to get trapped in an escalator. When all seems doomed, the man, the myth, the Eugene pulls up, dragging away some of the dead, and adding 2 more deaths to the toll. Glenn tries to break the glass when Nicholas pushes through, creating an opening for Noah to be grabbed, pulled in, and torn apart. Glenn watches, screaming, "No! Ah!" Nicholas demands the wheel, but the Gene machine doesn't listen to mere mortals. Glenn comes around the corner and starts beating on him. You think this is bad? You don't want to know what Eugene was planning to do. While that was happening, Abraham's been busy building a wall. Walkers come out of the trees, and during this gun down, I counted 4 deaths. The rest of the crew backs up, leaving a one behind. Abe's not about that life, so he goes in, guns blazing, taking out 2, then hiding under a tractor to kill 3 more. He tosses the gun up so the lady can handle his rear. Rear. This inspires the others to come back and help. The killing of the walkers, not his ass. Or maybe it is, who knows. They collectively rise the total up to... Now that's sorted, Abraham takes charge of construction. Not sure how being a brilliant walker basher qualifies you to lead a construction team, but we move. Carol finds out Jesse's being abused by her husband. So with this being a touchy subject for her, she tells Rick they need to kill him. Deanna's grieving over her lost son Aiden, who is probably a walker, something you don't often think about on the show. We know so many walkers. She puts on some music, and I gotta say, it's an odd song choice for grieving.
I'm like, yeah, he's fine. I stick that dick in his spine. When he walk past, I press rewind. To see that one more time, I'ma fuck his throat up.
I guess everyone grieves in their own way. Carol makes a casserole for the family with a note that reads, "Sorry your son got ripped apart and turned into a walker. His death was probably painful. Like, I couldn't imagine a worse way to go. Hope he gets well soon, XOX." However, Deanna's trust in the new arrival is starting to crack, setting the heartfelt note on fire, and with Nicholas lying through his teeth, pinning Aiden's walkification on Glenn, looks like Rick's gonna be needing those guns after all. Sasha's up in the watchtower, sniping a walker, then she heads out, forcing Michonne and Rosita to go looking. Along the way, they stumble across 2 corpses, all while Sasha creates 5 more. Bringing us so close to that 600 death mark.
Someday, but not today.
She penetrates 1 more before the girls finally catch up and find a horde. Between the 3 of them, they kill 24 walkers on screen, pushing us past the 600 deaths and breaking the previous death toll record that was held by season 1 of The Walking Dead. The new record? 613, and we still have an episode and a half left.
I told you to go. You can't do anything. It worked out for you.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
This, ladies and boys, girls and gents, is one of the many reasons I cannot stand Sasha. Sure, she's clearly having a mental breakdown, but come to fuck. Seeing it all worked out while her husband, boyfriend, and child are all dead. Yeah, sounds like she's living the dream. Back home, Sasha's back on guard duty, sniping 6 more, because apparently she hasn't ruined my sanity enough today. Daryl and Erin are out on the recruitment hunt. They spot a light in the distance, go searching, and find 2 mutilated bodies, neither of which are getting counted, as I know who did this, and you will soon. They find a girl who's definitely getting tallied, and who walkifies right before our very eyes. Carl and Edith are outside the fence too, forming some kind of relationship. Carl even goes for a cheeky handhold. Rick goes to talk to Deanna about Pete, the abuser, and her response is pretty much, "Don't worry about it, he's a doctor, so let him beat away." Surprisingly, Rick's not okay with that answer. Might be because he's trying to poke his wife, or it might be because abusing women's wrong. Either way, Rick's not a happy bunny. He talks to Jesse about the situation, saying he'll take care of it, and he does, sort of. He confronts Pete, and Ed doesn't like that, holding Rick against a wall. With no other options, Rick shows him why they call him Ricky Dicky Doodog Rhymes. Deanna calls it off, so Rick pulls out his stolen pistol and starts ranting about the new world and how this community is too weak to survive.
If you don't fight, you die. I'm not gonna stand by.
We open the last episode with an unexpected face. It's post-credit again. Remember him? The cuckoo-brained, clear-everything, machine-gun-wielding nutjob? Well, now he's the sane-brain, life-keeping, stick-swinging pacifist. How? Good question. He's having a cup of tea, instantly winning my British horse over. But a man interrupts, holding him at gunpoint, with a strange W carved into his head.
You know, the first settlers here, they put bounties on wolves' heads. Didn't take them too long to kill them all. They're back now. Thoughts?
Meese went extinct in the UK, but you don't see me grabbing antlers and chewing grass. During this bonding session, the wolf's friend sneaks out of the trees and attacks Morgan, so he whoops both of them. Grabbing the pistol to take out a walker, he realizes it was unloaded. Daryl and Aaron are on the road again. Daryl on the bike, Aaron in the car. I get Daryl likes bikes and is the badass of the group, but this isn't really practical for the mission. Aaron and his husband had a car and an RV, being able to carry numerous people. Am I overthinking this? Probably. They're tracking a survivor but lose trail just outside a food factory, and not grabbing this chance to stock up on food for the community would be foolish. First, they need to clear out the courtyard. Of course we won't see the actual kills. That happens off screen. We do, however, see the corpses. Only on an angle that's impossible to count, so I'm using a better shot instead. Now the area is clear, Daryl opens one of the trucks, which sets off a trap, releasing a horde of walkers, all with big W's carved into their heads. They try to make an escape, but the courtyard is now crawling with walkers. How? Magic. Both kill one each. Then Daryl whips out a chain. He saves Aaron from a thief that was taking his bag, then rush for the exit. Zigzagging, serpentine, and hula hooping past a whole lot, just to wind up taking cover in a car. What makes this worse? Only one walker is blocking the door from shutting. Inside the car, Aaron pulls out a note, warning them about the traps. Oh geez, thanks for the heads up. Now we know they're screwed.
What's so funny?
You were here the whole time?
You looked around the whole room. I think Michonne hit you a bit too hard. Girl sends you back to the fourth grade. Girl sends you back to the fourth grade read. Girl sent you back to the fourth grade reading. Girl, Jesus, she might have done the same to me. Girl sent you back to a fourth grade reading level. We find out that tonight, Deanna's holding a meeting to discuss kicking Rick out, as any rational person would. Rick says he'll apologize for his actions, even though he thought he was doing the right thing by stopping the abuser.
Tonight, at the meeting, Carol grabs Deanna. I take Spencer. You grab Reg. Glenn and Abraham cover us. Watch the crowd. We take the three of them and say we'll slit their throats. They give us the armory, and it's over. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm just gonna sleep some more.
Or you could try that. That works too. Gabriel goes out on a walk, not bringing a weapon since he has the protection of God. Finding a walk when it's lunch break, yet Gabe has no fear, as the Lord Almighty will... Oh, bloody neck! He returns and Spencer asks him to close the gate behind him, but Gabriel's too lost in thought to even check if it's shut properly, which can only lead to more death. Aaron and Daryl decide to fight their way out.
1, 2.
Morgan, who somehow made it to the car, killing only one walker. They bash, dash, and slash through 6 of them, managing to close the gate behind. I feel like this would have been easier if Morgan used that machine gun of his, but I don't know. Daryl finishes things off with a final bolt. So now that everyone's safe, well, almost everyone. At night, we find Redcoat. Unfortunately, so did the wolves. Glenn spots Nicholas climbing over the fence and gives chase, coming across a dead walker. Oh, piss off did he escape that fast. Nicholas executes a walker during his search when Glenn catches up. Nick breaks free thanks to the hole in Glenn's shoulder, leaving Glenn to get piled on by 3 walkers. Surely this time he's done for. Nope, he's back. I'm starting to think Glenn might be Glenn might be immortal. Holding a gun to Nicholas, ready to pull the trigger, he instead lets him live, not wanting to hurt me anymore. Then brings him back to the community. Rick gets to the gate and sees it wide open, with walker trucks leading in. He finds all 3 and sends 2 to their graves. The 3rd is being exercised? I have no clue what's happening here.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
He hauls the body into the community meeting, validating a reason why they need him. He starts turning faces when Pete storms in with a sword, aiming for Rick's head. Reggie attempts to intervene and gets sliced for his trouble. Deanna looks at a new 659 and asks Rick to make it an even 60.
Do it.
So much for...
We don't kill people.
The season wraps with Morgan and Rick finally reuniting.